everyone. So it's another quiet Friday evening, and today I really want to do two videos. Hi, Tequila. A cat. One of the cats that lives here. Two videos that I wanted to do tonight. This video is going to be something that I hear a lot of from people who come into the store and either see my basset hound with her dinner on the floor, or through general conversation that happens. Try not to get nail polish all over me. Through general conversation that kind of happens while they're here, and that is this whole concept of people food in regards to their dogs. This phrase totally ticks me off. I hear so often people say, well, my dog doesn't get any people food. We don't feed our dog people food. Heaven forbid my dog ever gets a scrap of people food. And it's such a wrong way of thinking, and I have no idea where this came from. I'm going to guess that it was probably some veterinarian somewhere who was way off the charts, pro-kibble, don't feed your dog anything that doesn't come out of a bag. It's such an awful way of thinking. People have this idea that if it doesn't come out of a bag, it's not safe to feed for your dog. And I'm not sure how this ever made sense to anybody. Dogs and cats, particularly dogs, yes, Tequila. My cat on a diet is begging for her meal, and mad at me because I won't let her release it. People have this idea that dogs have evolved over the years to eat kibble, and that's not the case. Kibble has only been around for about the last 100 years, and it has only been the past 10, 15 years or so that high-quality kibble has actually been pushed on the market as something better for your dog. Back in the day, you didn't really feed your dog. Your dog kind of fed itself. It went out and hunted, or you fed it table scraps. And there are really nothing wrong with table scraps. Most people think, when they think table scraps, they picture somebody with a plate of mashed potatoes and a whole bunch of gravy and, maybe a few vegetables and all the fat trimmings off of a piece of meat scraped into the bottom of a food dish for your dog. And that's what people assume are table scraps. But what people forgot is that meat and potatoes is pretty much what's in every kibble-based diet on the planet, but these ingredients make up for a healthy canine diet. If you feed your dog lots of fruits and vegetables and, a bit of meat, maybe not the fat parts, but the meat and the potatoes, and maybe you had some carrots tonight, or you had some broccoli yesterday, or some Brussels sprouts, or, you're having some lunch, here, have the celery. Lettuce, tomatoes, these things are good for your dog. And there's no problem feeding these people foods to your dog. They are not people foods. They are fruits and vegetables. And I think that's something that people get hung up on, is this idea of people food. Now, to me, there are people food. There are things that we have engineered to be maybe not profitable to our bodies, but something that we have designed for us that wild animals have not. So things like pop, coffee, alcohol, chocolate, things like this, things like that come in nice little packages, those are people foods. You would not feed those foods to your dog because they are not meant for your dog. So this idea of not feeding your dog people food is really just a case of redefining what you think is a people food. There's no problem with giving your dog steamed vegetables. There's no problem with feeding your dog a bit of potato. There's no problem with feeding your dog meat or, leftovers from the other day or, a little bit of turkey drippings or like the list goes on and on and on. These things are not dangerous for your dog, and it is okay to feed your dog fruits and vegetables. Um, Something that I recommend to a lot of people who come in during the summer when it's hot. They say that their dogs, they're always worried that their dogs aren't drinking enough, and a lot of people, it's really hard to convince them to switch their dog onto or provide wet food with some extra water into their diet. Most people are still hung up on this, oh no, don't feed your dog wet food, it'll ruin his teeth. So I tell people, cut up a watermelon and throw it in the freezer and then give it to your dog. Most dogs love watermelon. Most dogs will readily eat watermelon, cantaloupe, honeydew melon, anything that's really, really wet. I knew one dog who loved oranges. We used to give Lexi frozen oranges in the summer, and she would just go gaga for these oranges. I know dogs who love apples. Carrots are another huge hit with most dogs. Be creative. I know a lot of people will go out and buy these fancy schmancy toppers for their dog's food because that somehow is synthetically designed stuff is better than, trying to get carrots or putting some cheese on the top of your dog's food. I think people overthink this idea of what their dogs can and can't eat because they're scared that if it doesn't come out of a bag, that it's not good for my dog, and that's such a horrendous way of thinking. If your dog will eat a fruit or vegetable, go for it. Now, obviously, if your dog is a carrot addict, don't feed your dog, 85 baby carrots. But shredding up a carrot and putting it on top of his food, 2 or 3 times a week is not a bad idea. Neither is, feeding your dog lettuce or celery or broccoli, sweet potato, cucumbers, anything that you would feed to your child is essentially a fair game for your dog. Now, like I said, you're going to want to watch for things that your dog can't digest, like chocolate, raisins, grapes are one that you don't want to be giving to your dog, avocados, certain nuts are not good for your dogs. So, check before you feed these. Check with your veterinarian. Check online. There are huge amounts of resources out there that will explain which foods are actually dangerous for your dog. And let me tell you, they far, the good stuff far outweighs the amount of bad things you can feed your dog. So, I guess my point in this video is you need to redefine what people's food is. Because withholding these foods from your dog's diet is not making them any healthier. It might not be making them any worse, but if your dog is currently eating, let's say, Iams dog food, which, according to their fancy schmancy commercials, has more meat proteins than others, but really it doesn't, or let's say Ol Roy or Kibbles and Bits, Beneful, these lower-end grocery store brands, then by all means, add fruits and vegetables. Even if they're eating higher quality stuff, hey, let's face it, an unprocessed carrot is a heck of a lot better than a processed one found in your kibble. So, you need to abandon this this idea that people's food is bad for your dog. So, that is my goal for today's video, is you need to redefine what people's food is. I hope your dog is healthy and that you've learned something so that maybe your dog can become more healthy by introducing fruits and vegetables into his diet. If you have any questions, leave them below. Have a good night.